getting into the IT itself was a big task for me as I was having a mechanical background. Mostly people say ki during your initial career, don't go with the service-based companies. But yeah, I would say it was the turning point for me. Got an offer from the FIS, so that was around 7.5. But I was pretty happy with that. I got 100% hike. And what else do I need? Then I got a call from Quantify, and they told me ki, if you have offer, we can provide the counter offer. First offer for around 7.5, then 9.5, then Baker's Huge around 12, then ThoughtWorks 14, and then I guess Sapient provided me 18 or something. Company
3.5 to like 16 plus.
16 LPA, yeah.
Hello everyone. Today we have a very special guest, Pramod. So he's working right now currently as an SD2 front-end with Meesho. Yes, you heard it right, Meesho. So he has very interesting journey starting from doing a freelancing to working at a service-based company, Infosys, joining ThoughtWork, then working at Meesho right now. He has seen the world in a different fashion and the different angle altogether. So we are glad to have Pramod over here. He's not just going to talk about the interview processes and the important questions and related to that, but also once you get into the company, what are the expectations? What are the things that you should be aware of, not just cracking the interviews. So with that, let me introduce Pramod. Hey Pramod, how are you doing?
Hey, hi, Chirag. First of all, thanks for having me here, yeah. So, yep, yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot for having me here. Yeah, hey, hi, everyone. Myself, Pramod. I've been currently working as ESD2 at Meesho. I have around 4.5 years of experience, and previously I've been worked at Infosys and ThoughtWorks, and I have majorly worked into the front-end technologies.
Awesome, awesome. So before we start, many of the audience may be listening for or looking for, are you going to share some coupon code so that they can get some discount on the Miso?
Definitely no, because I don't get itself.
Most of the people have that thought, oh, you are working in Miso or the Flipkart. I used to get a lot of queries. Boss, you will be having some discount coupons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get a LinkedIn messages for that as well.
Okay, and maybe before we start, the next question is like, do people assume when you are wearing the Miso T-shirt, boss, do you are a delivery boy or whatnot?
Sometimes.
That happened once in a hometown. Hometown, my hometown. Basically, people thought,
Mhm.
oh, you used to do a delivery at Flipkart, and I was, I used to deliver. Let me know if I can deliver something at your place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
So,
that's so proud in itself.
great. So,
Like,
chalo, without
yeah.
wasting further time, people are looking for your interview journey into the Miso. Like, how did you started from your resume, and how did you ended up into the Miso?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. So yeah, yeah, I'll start from the beginning itself. So when during the college time itself, during the fourth year, so I was trying preparing for the interviews and all, but I was not pretty clear itself ki what I really wanted to do. So I was doing the CAT preparation, I was giving the government exam, then I was proceeding for the placements itself. So at the end, like I tried giving the ESSBs as well. So I have been given the three SSB as well. So during that time, I wasn't pretty clear to what I really wanted to do with it. So I was putting the hard work, but not into the right direction. So during the end of college, I end up getting just an internship at a company called as the Intellect. So obviously, I was not happy with that internship. So I started looking out for a change, and at that time, I got introduced to. I was pretty much introduced to at least the HTML, CSS, JavaScript to that world. Then I started little bit knowing more about that and started doing the freelancing. Like I wasn't that much expert, but yeah, I started doing that on a freelancing.com, started getting small project, creating small project as I wanted to do something. Right now, I was just doing the internship with just having a 10K in hand. So obviously, I was not happy with that. So yeah, I started preparing and started doing freelancing. Then getting into the IT itself was a big task for me as I was having a mechanical background. So 4 years been to the mechanical, and then getting into the IT was a big task. So yeah, I was good with the content. Also, I prepared. I decided to give it a chance for a service-based company. So I prepared for Infosys, Accenture, Cognizant. Give it a chance. Thankfully, Infosys happened. And yeah, like mostly people say ki during your initial career, don't go with the service-based companies. But yeah, I would say it was the turning point for me because when I went into the Infosys, they trained me complete into the full stack development, data structure, then OOPS. then like I got the understanding of the IT world and what needed to be a programmer or a coding expert. So yeah, I started my journey there. Been around 2 years into the Infosys, learn the front end development, Angular, and then majorly worked into the Angular because there is one mindset into the like service base or the other companies. Yeah, you have to stick to one framework. So yeah, I was completely working on to the Angular only. So yeah, at the end of 2 years, I felt yeah, I need to change the technology. I need to work on some other tech stack. So I started looking out for a change. Then I started again recovering the same journey, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and till now, I like honestly, I wasn't completely aware कि हाँ ये फांग भी होता है या सर्विस बेस्ड प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड ऐसा कुछ डिस्टिंग्विश होता है. तो जैसे जैसे आई स्टार्टेड लुकिंग आउट फॉर देन आई गॉट टू नो कि यार हाँ ये फांग होता है, ये प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनीज होता है, इसके लिए डीएसए लगता है, ये ऐसे ऐसे प्रोसीजर है, इनका इतना इतना पैकेज होता है. बिकॉज व्हेन आई वाज इन इन्फोसिस इट वाज अ 3.5 एलपीए typical systems engineer job. So yeah, but I got learn there a lot. So I started there preparing, then started looking out for YouTube videos and all. Then got to know कि हाँ डीएसए प्रिपेयर करना पड़ेगा, थोड़ा सिस्टम डिजाइन भी देखना पड़ेगा. तो धीरे धीरे I started like when I was 1.5 years experience into Infosys, at that time only I started looking out for. उसके बाद फिर स्लोली मैंने चालू कर दिया कि क्या क्या करना पड़ेगा, जावास्क्रिप्ट, एचटीएमएल, सीएसएस, डीएसए भी थोड़ा बहुत कर लिया. एंड एक दो सर्विस बेस्ड कंपनीज के लिए ट्राई मारा, कॉग्निजेंट, देन एक्सेंचर, बट हुआ नहीं तभी भी कि उसमें भी बिकॉज आई वॉज नॉट दैट कॉन्फिडेंट या मेरे को एग्जैक्टली पता नहीं था कि कंपनीज को चाहिए क्या. So I started giving the interviews, and later on I got an offer from the FIS. So that was around 7.5, but I was pretty happy with that. I got 100% hike. And what else do I need? So later I was happy, and the notice period for Infosys was around 3 months. I put the resignation and I was chilling. I got now 100% hike. I don't need to do anything. But yeah, I got a call from HR from the Quantify. So I told them I have a offer. So I didn't have an idea of having the multiple offers, then negotiating. Honestly, I was in a completely different world, not knowing about the product based DSA, even though into the IT. So yeah, I would say that was a lacking point. But yes, then I got a call from Quantify, and they told me, कि, हाँ, if you have offer, we can provide the counter offer. So accordingly, I started getting the got a Quantify, then Baker's Hughes, then Publicis Sapient, and then a ThoughtWorks. So I decided to join the ThoughtWorks. That was around a 16 LPA. The reason behind joining the ThoughtWorks itself, because when I was into the Infosys, when I used to get a referral or try for a product-based company itself, no, तो product-based का call ही नहीं आता था. तो that's like I will say harsh truth कि अगर service based में हो तो it's very hard to get a call for a
So you
product
went
based
from
company.
3.5 to like 16 plus.
16 LPA, yeah.
Ah, nice.
So
So people who
yeah,
are thinking that things are not possible probably are possible if you have the right skill.
yeah. And like, yes, if you have a right skill, right company, right guidance, definitely it's a possible. Because I got first offer for around 7.5, then 9.5, then Baker's Huge around 12, then ThoughtWorks 14, and then I guess Sapient provided me 18 or something, but I decided to stick to ThoughtWorks because I wanted to experience that culture, that richness in a culture, and that technology expertise I have heard about the ThoughtWorks. So
So
yeah, that was a very good experience.
then you went into
Hmm.
Miso. Now what
Yeah.
happened in Miso, man?
Yep. So yeah, I'll first talk about the ThoughtWorks. The ThoughtWorks, the reason I joined the ThoughtWorks, I wanted to get the big product-based companies or fund-based companies call. So ThoughtWorks, I spent around a year there. I learned the React Native. Earlier, I used to work on a like this one, Angular. So जैसे मैंने एक ईयर स्पेंड करा इसमें थॉटवर्क्स में, आई थॉट कि अभी फिर से एक बार ट्राई करते हैं. तो देन आई स्टार्टेड लुकिंग आउट फॉर. तो वहां पे डीएसए प्रोडक्ट बेस मेरे को सारा आइडिया था. डीएसए आई हैव प्रिपेयर्ड अ लिटिल बिट की थोड़ा बहुत एरे, लिंक लिस्ट, जावास्क्रिप्ट या एरे बेस्ड क्वेश्चन या स्ट्रिंग बेस्ड क्वेश्चन. तो मैंने फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल की कॉल, हाउ टू गेट अ कॉल, दैट वाज द फर्स्ट स्टेप इटसेल्फ. एंड बिफोर दैट रिज्यूमे इटसेल्फ, तो मैंने वो देखा कि सिंगल पेज रिज्यूमे चाहिए होता है, जो चाहिए वही डालो रिज्यूमे में, सब कुछ मत भर भर के 2-3 पेजेस का बनाओ। तो सबसे पहले रिज्यूमे अच्छा बनाया क्लीन, कि जिसमें वर्क एक्सपीरियंस हो मेरा, सिर्फ कॉलेज हो, जो मैं मेरे स्टैटिस्टिक्स हाईलाइट करूँ, जिस जिस पे काम करा वो हाईलाइट करूँ। दैट वाज द फर्स्ट थिंग। सेकेंड, आई स्टार्टेड अप्लाइंग ऑन अ कंपनी पोर्टल, बट सून आई रियलाइज कि यार मेरे को कॉल ही नहीं आ रहे। तो देन आई रियलाइज कि यार कंपनी पोर्टल से तो नहीं होगा, वी हैव टू गो थ्रू द रेफरल। तो रीचिंग आउट टू द मल्टीपल पीपल, एंड ऑब्वियसली पीपल डोंट रिप्लाई, that happens. So started reaching out to the people for referrals, then like got referrals eventually. Like not all the peoples will not reply, but yeah, few will reply, and then started getting a call. तो यार मीशो में भी ऐसा नहीं था कि थॉटवर्क्स के बाद मैंने सीधा मीशो किया। तो फर्स्ट मेरे को पेटीएम का कॉल आया। सो नहीं, पेटीएम से पहले भी मेरे को एक दो कॉल आए, वहां पे भी नहीं हुआ, सेम स्टोरी कि हाँ कुछ ना कुछ रह जाता था, या तो डीएसए नहीं होता था, या सिस्टम डिजाइन में कहीं पे कि हाई लेवल आर्किटेक्चर में फंस जाता था। तो लेटर ऑन पेटीएम का रेफरल के थ्रू कॉल आया। तो देर आई गॉट इंटरव्यू, वही फर्स्ट राउंड प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग प्लस जावास्क्रिप्ट था, दैट आई एक्सेल्ड इट। सेकंड वाज मशीन कोडिंग राउंड, वहां पे मेरे को एक ये बनाने बोला था, कि हाँ आप एक पॉपअप बना दो, एंड हैव बीन गिवन हाफ एन आवर, एंड उसमें फिर एज केसेस की ये कैसे हैंडल करोगे, ये कैसे हैंडल करोगे, डायनामिक कंटेंट रेंडर करना होगा तो उसमें स्लाइडर करना होगा। तो दैट वाज द मशीन कोडिंग। थर्ड, फिर सिस्टम डिजाइन का हाई लेवल आर्किटेक्चर पूछा था, कि एप्लीकेशन हाई लेवल कैसे बनता है, आपको स्क्रैच से बनाना होगा तो क्या करना पड़ेगा। एंड लास्ट वाज द हायरिंग मैनेजर राउंड। एंड तो ऐसे था, पेटीएम का निकला मेरा, तो फ्रॉम 16 टू पेटीएम में आई गॉट 22। तो पेटीएम में गॉट तो एक थोड़ा सा कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया कि यार हाँ हो सकता है, या अपन भी कर सकते हैं। बिकॉज लाइक कमिंग फ्रॉम अ मैकेनिकल बैकग्राउंड विद अ 3.5 एलपीए, लाइक इट वाज अ ह्यूज जंप फॉर मी इटसेल्फ, कि हाँ यार ये मैंने कर लिया है। वो एक थोड़ा टाइम लगा वो खुद को ये करने में, कि हाँ ये हो सकता है। तो पेटीएम के बाद स्किल तो थोड़ा लुकआउट करना चालू करा। देन लाइक आई हैव बीन आस्क्ड फॉर, you name the startup, and I have been interviewed for that. I've been interviewed for Swiggy, Uber, Amazon, Google, OLX, Tekion। तो उसमें से बहुत सारे फेल्यूर में थे ऑब्वियसली, बट हाँ पेटीएम के बाद इनमोबी का ऑफर आया, फिर OLX का आया, फिर आई थिंक हाँ टेक्यून वाज द हाईएस्ट ऑफर एट दैट टाइम आई गॉट बिफोर ज्वाइनिंग द मीशो। टेक्यून के बाद मीशो आया। तो टेक्यून वाज ऑफर्ड मी 36 एलपीए बेस, 2 lakhs ज्वाइनिंग बोनस, एंड 8 या 10 एलपीए ये था, क्या बोलते हैं, ईसॉप्स था। तो अराउंड 46-48 एलपीए। बट या स्टिल एट दैट टाइम टेक्यून वाज द हाईएस्ट ऑफर, बट आई हैव डिसाइडेड टू गो विद द मीशो ओनली। तो मीशो का मैंने कल्चर सुना था, और उस टाइम वर्क फ्रॉम एनीवेयर था। तो आई वाज फ्रॉम द पुणे, तो वो मेरे लिए सबसे सही था। तो या दैट्स हाउ आई लैंडेड अप इन अ मीशो।
Great, great. I think that was an awesome journey from seeing from Infosys to many things and many rejections and whatnot. So that was a really interesting story, man. Now, the next thing people wanted to hear is what are the different interview round Misho basically had when you when you got interviewed over there.
श्योर श्योर। तो यार बेसिकली आई हैव ऑब्जर्व कि SD2 या SD3 के लिए ना सिमिलर पैटर्न होता है अक्रॉस दी स्टार्टअप्स। बिकॉज मेजरली आई वाज इंटरेस्टेड इन स्टार्टअप्स, तो मैंने सबके दिए थे। मैंने क्रेड दिया है, OLX दिया है, मीशो दिया है, कल्टफिट दिया है, ओयो दिया है। तो आई हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड अ पैटर्न कि ऐसे होता है जनरली कि फर्स्ट राउंड यू विल बी बेस्ड ऑन अ जावास्क्रिप्ट प्लस प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग। उसमें जावास्क्रिप्ट के कंसेप्ट पूछे जाएंगे, एंड दोज विल नॉट बी डायरेक्टली, जैसे आपको क्लोजर पूछा है तो इट विल नॉट बी एन डायरेक्ट क्लोजर क्वेश्चन, आपको इम्प्लीमेंटेशन बेसिस या आपको थोड़ा घुमा फिरा के पूछा जाएगा। फिर होस्टिंग हो गया, फिर असिंक का वेट हो गया, या जो प्रोटोटाइप बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है वो पूछे जाएंगे जेएस में। एंड दे विल टेस्ट यूर सम प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल्स एज वेल। तो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग में डीएसए आ गया, तो नॉट कंप्लीटली हाई लेवल डीएसए, बट एटलीस्ट कि हाँ इसको प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग आता है, ये ऑप्टिमाइज वे में सॉल्यूशन लिख सकता है। तो दैट इज द फर्स्ट राउंड आई हैव ऑब्जर्व। सेकेंड राउंड रहता है इज अ मशीन कोडिंग। तो मशीन कोडिंग में आपका आ गया कि पॉपअप बनाओ, फिर स्लाइडर बनाओ, या चेक बॉक्सेस बनाओ, रिएक्ट के टैब्स बनाओ, या कुछ सर्च बनाओ, या फिर ये थ्रोटलिंग रहता है, डिबाउंसिंग रहता है, उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करो। तो बेसिकली आपको 1 घंटा मिल जाएगा, उसमें देर माइट बी 2 क्वेश्चंस और 1 क्वेश्चन, डिपेंड्स ऑन कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ऑफ क्वेश्चन। तो वो रहता है मशीन कोडिंग। थर्ड इज जी आई हैव सीन की सिस्टम डिजाइन और फ्रेमवर्क बेस्ड नॉलेज। तो सिस्टम डिजाइन में हाई लेवल एप्लीकेशन कैसे चलता है, या जो हाई लेवल अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट गेट आस्क्ड एंड मैनेजर इंजीनियरिंग मैनेजर की, जिसमें नॉट ओनली हाउ गुड डेवलपर यू आर बट हाउ गुड अ पर्सन यू आर, हाउ गुड अ टीम मेंबर यू आर और अ टीम प्लेयर you are. So this have been generally asked.
Got it. I think that's a very creative way to basically present those things. And I think you have also talked about the common questions which are basically asked in these rounds, basically in terms of the expectation. Okay, I explicitly wanted to double check on one problem which most of the people basically look for. Is there any DSA round in Miso?
Yeah, that I get lot of LinkedIn things. तो मीशो में तो आई फाइंड कि एटलीस्ट आई टॉक फॉर माई सेल्फ, तो डीएस से एज इन बहुत हार्ड लेवल का नहीं होगा, बट हाँ समवॉट लिटल एरे बेस्ड लिंक लिस्ट या स्ट्रिंग बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस आते हैं या पूछते हैं, जस्ट टू चेक कि हाँ एटलीस्ट बेसिक डेटा स्ट्रक्चर आपका क्लियर है क्या फॉर द फ्रंट एंड बैक एंड आई एम नॉट श्योर, बट हाँ नॉट द हार्ड ट्रीज एंड ग्राफ यू विल बी आस्क्ड, दैट आई एम प्रीटी श्योर ऑफ. When I also take sometimes interview, I never go for at least for the front end level engineers that kind of DSA questions.
So basically, you meant by these questions, you don't have explicit DSA round, but as a part of
हाँ
your interview itself,
yes yes
you ask problems based on
correct
the problem solver.
हाँ
So not explicitly DSA data structure
correct.
you are looking for, are you a good problem solver
गुड
or not?
प्रॉब्लम सॉल्वर करेक्ट. वी डोंट वांटेड टू टेस्ट की नहीं तुमको ट्री का आता है का, ग्राफ का बहुत हाई लेवल का, बिकॉज एट द एंड एवरीबॉडी नोज यार. आई रियली डोंट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई दैट मच डीएसए इज बीन आस्क्ड बाय द many big companies, but like you are being a good problem solver, it should be a criteria.
Awesome. I think this is one which many people are waiting for. Like, is there any DSA round which you have a system design round which you have already talked about? But what are the expectations? Like when you go into that, what kind of question can be asked? What kind of expectation that can be there in the system design round?
Oh, okay, huh. So system design here, when we talk about the system design, what they'll ask is ki how overall system works. Let's say when you are a junior engineer SD1, the expectation is to कि जो आपको task assign करा गया, how well you are executing it. That's the expectation from the SD1. When you goes up the ladder SD2, SD3, the expectation is to how well you can maintain the system, how well you can build the system. तो उसमें हाउ यू कैन बिल्ड सम सर्विस फ्रॉम द स्क्रैच, तो देर आर मेनी पैरामीटर्स की डिप्लॉयमेंट कैसे करोगे, फिर एक्सेसिबिलिटी क्या होता है, माइक्रो फ्रंटेंड्स क्या होते हैं, फिर परफॉर्मेंस है, बिल्ड साइज मॉनिटरिंग है. तो ऑल अगर ये सारे पैरामीटर्स इफ यू नो, तो यू विल बी एबल टू परफॉर्म गुड एट द सिस्टम डिजाइन, और यू विल बी एबल टू एक्सप्लेन द हाउ द ओवरऑल सिस्टम वर्क्स एंड हाउ यू कैन मेंटेन इट.
Very well said. Very well said. So basically, I can relate it. Earlier, there was a days where people were not curious about that. They were into, JavaScript. You are able to work on React or Angular. Just come and join the company.
Yes,
But now,
correct.
the level has evolved because the website of things have become complex, and we are doing
Complex,
crazy
agreed.
work at
Yeah,
website.
yeah.
So expectation also have evolved a
Yeah,
lot.
there are so many ways you can cache the pages. You can implement the caching. You can have the cloud level caching, HTTP caching, service worker, PWA, like web vitals and whatnot. You like sometimes people say the front end is just changing a color button, but it's definitely not. There are a lot more things apart from that, and you'll need to have that much knowledge and expertise to get those kind of problems solved.
Well said. So you have already talked about in terms of compensation the growth that you have seen from the Infosys to that. But I also wanted to double check on like how your career, how your journey has been evolved in terms of what kind of culture you are working on, and right now you are at ME, so what kind of culture basically you have seen.
Sure, sure.
So
Yeah, no,
what
it's a
comes
pretty huge difference, I'll say, because when I used to work in Infosys, the basically the mindset of the at that time was to work on the only one framework, stick to the, let's say if you have been on an Angular 7, we were at that time on an Angular 7, let's not upgrade, things will break, we have a complex project. So that kind of mindset was there. When I switched to the ThoughtWorks, at least they were not sticking to the framework. Let's use any work frameworks whichever works. And when I now into the Meesho, So right now, I'll give an example. Recently, we have been building, like I'm into the growth side of the like projects of the Meesho growth team basically. So there we are building the completely one application from a scratch. It's a video streaming platform. So that we have scaled to the 2-3 million peoples, and it's in a testing phase. So we were trying with so many frameworks. We tried React, we tried Next.js, we tried like P-React, then we jumped to the Svelte. So there is no as such constraint कि नहीं you will have to build this, you will have to use this only या यही library use करना है. You have a complete freedom. That's one thing I feel very good कि हाँ अब जो भी बनाओ बस बढ़िया होना चाहिए वैसा
So
वाला.
you are not working for a client, you are working for a product. A
Yeah,
drastic
yeah,
shift in one line, if I could say.
yeah, and like let's say we have upgraded Meesho.com is on a Next.js, so that was an older version of Next. We have updated the Next.js, so there is like people are accept to new challenges. People are okay to deal with the challenges, and if there are problems coming, like we'll face as a team. That's what mindset I'll feel like differentiates those core product based companies from the other companies.
Awesome. So now we are into the Miso because you have cracked the interview. You went into the Miso. Now, how the world basically changes? What are the expectation changes? Because cracking the interview is one part, but growing in the company, in the same company consistently is a different story altogether.
Yeah.
So we want to put some highlight on that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So basically, what happens ki like if you go for so you'll be asked PWA service worker and whatnot into the interviews, but if you see generally we do not use all those technologies. But when you are in a startup, definitely all those will gonna come into the handy. So you don't just have to be like prepare this concept for an interview. Ki, हाँ, I'll just crack the interview using this and I'll not use it. Definitely not. If you are going for a startup, all those concepts you need to know in depth because those will be using it. Because right now, if I say like where I have been worked on a PWA, service worker, micro front end, web view, so authorization. So all these things which have been used in an interview, I am using right now in actually in use. So yeah, and apart from this, how the expectation changes is key. Let's say being a ESD2, is it yeah ESD3? It is expected not only you do the tasks which have been assigned to you, like you take the initiative. You should start something new. Yeah, if you are seeing some problem in a system, how well you are like interpreting it. Yeah, you have been reaching out to the leadership and saying, hey, this can be changed, this can be optimized, this can be improved. So yeah, like sustaining is a different thing, cracking is a definitely different thing. And to sustain, you'll need to have a knowledge, not only just interview skills. You'll need to have the actual knowledge and that that ability to grow, I would say.
So switching the job and growing may not work for a longer
Yeah,
duration if
yeah,
you grow.
definitely.
When it comes to the senior boss, you have to work. You
Yeah,
have to show the impact.
yeah, you'll
Without
have
that,
to show the impact. And like when
yeah.
you are in a startup, not only the tech things. So right now we are in a growth team. So there we have to look for the like we have to own some business metrics as well. So like let's say if you have been launching some product, how many users you have been influencing with that, or like how many like ENMU you are uplifting, how many DAO you are uplifting with your skills, your project. So that's a pretty like good experience, I would say. कि we get exposure to the business metrics as well कि हाँ यार अगर ये फीचर लॉन्च कर रहे हैं तो इससे कितने एक्टिव यूजर्स बढ़ रहे हैं, इसका क्या इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है, किससे बिजनेस आ रहा है, कितना ये हो रहा है. तो yeah, that's a pretty fascinating world, I would say.
Awesome. That brings to a very important thing. Your job is not to just do the tech, but also see the impact that you are creating on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
end
yeah.
user. That's a mutual responsibility from the business to the developer, basically, which
Correct.
come together and build something which is for the user and by the developer. Great.
Yeah,
That was a really awesome thing, man. I just wanted to know,
yeah.
people are obviously waiting for any advice that you wanted to share with folks. Like anything, like how to crack and probably how to grow in the career, both the
Yeah,
sides.
sure. So I would say first mistake like during my initial period I did is like not focusing on a one thing. Like I was doing multiple things. I wasn't sure what I really wanted to do, and that happens. That's okay, I would say. But yeah, pick one thing. Try to be expertise. क्योंकि I get a ping from the multiple folks कि हाँ like backend में ज़्यादा पैसा है तो backend करे क्या. yeah, front end में
Yeah.
उतना पैसा है क्या? Honestly, I get this kind of things. It's okay to be a fresher or to be yes, you want to get this kind of thoughts, but yeah, I would say like हर फील्ड में है, stick to one tech, get expertise in it. Also, few other pointers as well. Ki recently I posted one opening for the front end, so I got almost 200 to 300 things. So, like
Hmm.
when people reach out for the referrals, the generally freshers or the SD ones do mistake is ki they'll say first, "Hi, hello, sir, how are you?" You know, instead try directly approaching the person with your skill set, the job ID, and the resume. That would definitely help because, like, when I refer someone, I sit on a weekend, I spend half a day, so I'll not be able to respond to everyone. What I'll say कि हाँ यार इसने job ID दिया है, इसने resume दिया है, बंदा अच्छा लग रहा है, I'll refer. That's how I generally do it. So stick to the point. Like have a referral कि हाँ इसमें ये भेजना है, resume भेजना है, job ID भेजना है, skills भेजना है, years of experience भेजना है. That is a
So
good.
basically, you are
Hmm.
saying your LinkedIn is not a dating app where you first try to convince the people. Not
Yeah.
if you are convinced, do you like me? Then will you like to refer?
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
liking is not basically your the way you greet. It's more
yeah.
around what you have done, right?
Yeah, what you have done, because definitely, because I was also in a phase, we do mistake. That's okay, I would say. It's our job to guide the others. So, but yeah, like let's not repeat those mistakes, I would say. And like when you're working in a company, not just focus on a development. Like at least the I work here, I get to work on other tasks as well, cost optimizations, then the how we can influence the business metrics. If you have any idea how you can suggest, that's another way to grow in a company. Let's say when you are in some position, if you have some idea around some, because we are close to the tech, so if you have something that can influence the product, you can definitely let the product managers or your bosses know. That will definitely help. Yeah.
Awesome. I think that those were really really nice advice. So I think this people are going to love, especially the journey, the things that you have talked about, the advice that you have given, and the most important, how you keep on growing and what perspective that you should have once you basically get in the company. I think that was a really really awesome discussion with you, Pramod, and thanks a lot for coming and sharing your knowledge with a lot of audience over here. See you
Yeah.
again. Thank you,
Same
man.
here. Thanks a lot, Chirag.